The last one is really, really easy, right? It's Mosesing. It's Mosesing. And Mosesing is the idea that if you want to be a good leader, all you have to be really good at to be a great leader and create an amazing culture is, guys, we're going over here, and it's going to be awesome, and here are the rules. We're going over here, it's going to be awesome, here are the rules. Those are the two main components of being a great leader. I call that Mosesing because that's what Moses did. We're going to the promised land, here's the 10 Commandments. So Mosesing. Now, understanding, and that's in your ventral striatum, so that's your dopamine pathways. Dopamine needs direction. We got to be going this way. That's what creates momentum. It's very hard to create momentum if you don't have a direction you're creating that momentum in. Because the literal definition of momentum is displacement times mass. How big is the item and what direction is it going? That's what creates momentum. You take displacement out of that, you just got a fat mess of mass. Like you used to be. Right? And the other thing is, having that aim, having that focus, it occupies your brain so it can't enter threat detection mode. Who here has had a partner not work for an extended period of time? Does your arguments and problems go up much when a partner's staying at home? Right? So because if people have something to focus on, then they're not going to focus on the negatives. And so the actions, a compelling what's in it for them goal. And I really hope you take this one away from you. KOTG means keeper of the goal. Your job is to be keeper of the goal. As a verb, keeper of the goal means literally talk about your goals, the team's goals, the direction of the team, and most importantly, their goals, 80% of the conversations you have with them. And if you are doing any less than 80%, you are being a crap leader. That people do not think about their own goals anywhere near enough. And guess what? It's actually going to motivate you more talking about your goals. So it's affirmative. All good on that? On part one of Mosesing?
What does KOTG stand for?
Keeper of the goal. Keeper of the goal. Right, last one here, guys. Values. Values comes in the posterior cingulate cortex. That is your identity. I know what my values are, and when I find a group of people who have, or a leader who has the same ideals and values as me, that is going to motivate the crap out of me because we are now a tribe and we can accomplish more together. So, alignment in itself is motivating. Just talking about the values motivates people. Highlighting, I'll talk about that in a second. The other thing, I talked about this before, identity is a survival instinct. I talked about this at my last speech. Right? Identity is a survival instinct. If you can hold someone accountable to their identity, you're triggering their survival reflexes, which is the most hard they'll ever work on something. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cool. And so, big one, values is you got to do what I call the 3 R's. The 3 R's of values, which is reward, reprimand, and remind.
Reprimand.
Yeah, reprimand. Reward, reprimand, remind. I cannot stress this enough, especially if you're exec level or above. You're not doing this enough, especially with winners. With winners, reprimand means pull people up. So reward, reprimand, remind. And so if you see someone go get 300 doors, you're like, that's awesome job, W from winners. Great job working with urgency, right? You see somebody stay out with somebody else even though they've already hit their target. Hey, that's great right choices, not easy choices, man. Great winners. You've got to highlight when people do it and you'll get more of it. You water the plants you want to grow. But also, you have to pull people out. It's the one thing people don't do is if you set values and someone breaks those values, you've got to have that serious conversation with them. Treat it like they did fraud. Hey, man, that's not in line with our values. We don't do that here. If you hit someone with a we don't do that here, you're not going to see that problem happen much. And then remind, people will not remember on their own. You've got to spam it once a week minimum that you're actually teaching and getting buy-in. But it's not enough just to do that. You've got to get first followers for it. Hey, man, can I get some help just hyping up the values? Or you just message one of your leaders and go, hey man, Fabio just did an awesome job with winners. Can you just highlight that in the chat for me? So now it's not just you it's coming from. And that gets the buy-in, that first follower analogy of that person dancing in the field. Make sense? Yeah. Cool.